All right, guys, this is Casey, and we're going to go through the inspection on Savanna today.
How are you guys? Thank you for the opportunity to work for you. Just finished the inspection. Overall, the house is in great shape. You have very clean, organized cellar, so you're looking good. What I'm noticing isn't major, but there is something, no house is perfect. First thing I'm noting is you have a fire sprinkler system. So you have fire sprinklers in the house. You have a fire sprinkler riser, and within 60 seconds of releasing the pressure on that fire sprinkler riser, you have a fire bell on the side of the garage that should audibly alarm and sound to let the neighbors know that your house is on fire. That bell did not sound today.
Okay.
The fire sprinkler riser system did function properly when that's just basically releasing the pressure to the system and making sure that the pressure stays up as the water is being released to simulate all those fire sprinklers dropping inside the house. So that part of the function worked. It's just the bell did not audibly sound.
Okay, so it's probably just whatever the connection is to making the
Could
bell
be
happen.
that, yeah.
Okay.
They have fire sprinkler companies that install these and test them once a year to, basically what I just did, you should have done once a year, every 2 years at the most.
Okay.
Okay. Next items we're noticing, this has to do with the water heater.
Okay.
Water heater is a 2021 tankless model. Because you have a pressure regulator here at your house, that means you have a closed plumbing system. Closed plumbing systems require a thermal expansion tank on all plumbing to the water heater. So on the tankless model, there's a little ball that gets attached to the cold side of the plumbing supply line, and there's a little ball, looks like a little round ball, about like a Christmas bulb ornament, and that serves as an expansion tank for a tankless water heater. That's not present. Also, we do not have a sediment trap on the gas supply pipe going to the water heater, which is also required, which is the little 3-inch nipple that gets installed on the gas line after the shutoff valve before the yellow connector. And that's supposed to catch any moisture or any sediment that's in the gas pipe.
So in that case,
They plumb it down here and then they drop it and then they would just do that.
Okay. And that's just, those weren't always something that we did, but now they're there to...
They've been closed since 2007, so this
Okay.
is a 2021 water heater, so that definitely should have been done at the time of installation.
Okay.
However, even though if it was older than 2007, us home inspectors in our industry look at sediment traps as kind of like water heater strapping, where it doesn't matter how old the appliance is. If it does not have a sediment trap, putting one on is always going to protect it.
Okay.
However, it's not a law like strapping is.
Okay.
Okay. Also, what we're doing with the water heater is the water pipes coming off of the water heater before they disappear into the wall required to have that black foam insulation wrapped around
Almost
them,
like
and
every
they're
house.
And we can cut for now.
Oh, okay. At the front of the house again.
Okay,
Back
great.
on. Tape.
We have 2 outlets that are on the exterior of the house that are not GFCI protected. As of 1971, all exterior outlets are required to be GFCI protected. So since the house was built, when the house was built, all the ones that were in the walls of the exterior of the house probably went to one in the garage. That was a reset point for the ones.
Okay.
You have about 5 of them on the outside of the house. 3 of them have their own reset buttons on them. 2 of them that were built with the house are still not GFCI protected. So I don't know if something got changed around in the garage or if something got taken apart since the house was built. Nonetheless, we have 2 outlets on the outside of the house. One on the north side of the house by the front door. One on the south side of the house outside the living room. There's 2 outlets that are not GFCI protected. I would recommend probably swapping those 2 outlets with just the outlets that have the buttons in them themselves. So just that way all 5 on the outside have their own reset point.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, we're in the back of the house now by the...
Here's your 2 AC condensers right here. I've zoned them out in your report, you'll know. Anyway, while we're here though, this is the west unit. This is operated off of the thermostat in the entry hall. It does all the common areas. So the living room, the hallway, the kitchen, the dining area, that's all this unit.
Okay.
This unit right here is your east unit. It does the 3 bedrooms. And it's controlled by the thermostat that's in the hallway outside the primary bedroom.
Okay.
This east unit says, there's a little placard down here that I took a picture of that you'll have in the report that says, protect me with no bigger than a 35 amp fuse. What's inside here as a disconnect, one of these is a 60, one of these is a 45. So they're exceeding what the unit requires. Both of these guys should be switched out to 35s.
Okay.
Okay? You're not getting any of this.
Oh, I'm getting all this.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
kidding.
it's great. Yeah, just totally flawless and easy. You're getting it all.
We'll cut that in post. We're gonna
Oh,
cut
yeah,
that in
that post, it's all gone.
This vis screen that they put over, again, this has to just do with your cellars. I think they just don't want the metal to deteriorate and fade out. Other than that, it does still draw in air. It's not restricting the unit, so this could stay if need be.
Okay.
If wanted, okay. Let's see here. Pool equipment. Here's your pool equipment here. When I did the test, the only thing I noted is you have 2 lights here on this tanning deck. One of them is burnt out.
Okay.
Okay, you'll see in the pictures when these aerators are off. One of these lights is burnt out. It's the south one.
Okay.
Okay. Spa. Okay, this is your spa heater right here. This is the gas supply pipe going to the spa heater.
Yeah.
This pipe feeds the heater. This pipe is plumbed to feed the added valve that's adjacent to your barbecue.
Okay.
So what we do not have is we do not have a shutoff valve that would isolate the pipe to the heater. So this should be a shutoff valve here or a shutoff valve here, but we have no isolation just to shut off the gas to the heater itself, which is required. You should have a shutoff valve within 6 feet of every component.
Okay.
So we could put one here or we could put one here. Okay, but we don't have any way, again, to shut off the gas to the spa heater without going to the meter.
Oh, I see. So you have to turn this off at the meter if you're
Correct.
going to service this, whereas
Correct.
you should be able to just turn it off right here.
Right, so you could probably plumb one here, and then they'd have their own isolation valve to the heater and their own isolation valve to the added barbecue
Okay.
valve. Okay. The rest is in the house.
Okay. Oops. Inside the laundry room here.
Inside the laundry room here, we have an outlet on the north wall and we have it on the outlet on the south wall. The outlet on the south wall has buttons that trip and reset as required.
Okay.
This outlet on this north wall does not, but it's also not tripping those. So, in sense, this outlet on the north wall is not GFCI protected, which is required.
Okay.
So if it's wired to that same circuit, then an electrician would just have to make it trip.
Okay.
If not, worst case scenario, put their own outlet with buttons here.
And what's that plug for?
I think it goes to that camera that's in the garage.
Oh, okay.
And then the only other item I noted here in the kitchen is this vent fan, I believe, operates off of this remote.
It also does those. Like you're supposed to, you can wave it to turn it on.
Perfect. Well, I wasn't getting a response from the remote, so I just noted
They got
that
it
as well.
working before. We were, yeah.
Disregard
Disregard that
one.
one.
And it'll be
We'll
off in
make
the
it
report.
work. It should be fine.
Just turn it on and then.
Okay, perfect. So I didn't know the whole
It's all right.
wave at it thing then. So anyway, I just made a note that it didn't respond to the remote.
There you go.
It does.
There you go.
Turn it on.
And then,
Disregard that. It's like it's never been said.
and then the attic stuff. I think you were.
The only thing I noted in the attic is you have 2 furnaces in the attic. Both the furnaces are original 2004 models. So
Okay.
they are older than 15 years old. So there's going to be in red in the report because it's older than 15 years old. Out here in the desert, they don't get used a lot. We always see old furnaces. So as long as we have a strong enough fan to blow the air that the air conditioner makes, then we always see old furnaces. I want to point out that when they did put those new condensers outside, because one of those condensers is a 2020, the other one's a 2019, they also replaced the evaporative coil that connects to the furnaces in the attic. So everything that makes the air cold is 2020, 2019 or newer.
Okay, and that's
Okay.
the stuff that we use a lot because it gets so hot.
Correct. 'Cause
Okay.
it's like gas in the desert.
So older, but
But newer, functional, but that's why it's red. And again, going back to what we talked about that water heater, 2004, they did not install those sediment traps, so I did note that they are not present.
Oh, sediment
but again,
traps.
we talked about those. So. And that's it. I appreciate the work. I'm going to send all this in a PDF formatted file with colored photos to document all this stuff, and then we can talk again once you guys have them. Mark will get everything you guys get, and again, I thank you.
okay. Thanks, Case. Appreciate it.